Greetings and welcome back to Digital Alley. In this session, we're going to cover how to create, submit, and reopen go-to-market readiness assessments, as well as a few tips on how to get started the month before go-to-market. With that said, let's get started. As you can see, we are on the dealer form. And the dealer form always leads off with the summary tab. What you're going to want to do is either minimize or scroll down to the details tab and find the assessments section. From there, you're going to want to go over to the right and locate the plus sign. Clicking that will open up the new assessments window. Once the new assessments window is open, what you're going to want to do is go down to the field called type, and in this open area here, click go to market readiness. Now you'll notice that doing so gives us all of these questions down here. This question section will always be based off of your selection here in the assessment type. And what you want to do next, and this is going to be with any assessment, is you're going to want to save the assessment. And you can do so at the top left here with the floppy disk, or down at the bottom with the floppy disk. Now the reason why you want to save on go-to-market readiness is because, scroll down, as you can see, participants, there's no way for you to add any participants here. There's nothing for you to interact with. And there's a few other forms that are similar in that way, where you have to hit save to enable full functionality on that assessment. So the recommendation is just to save as soon as you load any assessment. And we're going to do that now. So now that we click save, you see that we have this plus sign here by participants so that we can add in new participants for go-to-market. So at this point, we're going to stop, and what I want you to consider here is, let's imagine that we are at the end of the month. So it's the end of September. We're preparing for October's go-to-market, and we are going to go in. We've just opened up our go-to-market readiness assessment. We've hit save. And now we have the option or the ability to add in participants. So we're going to hit the plus sign. That's the first thing we're going to do. And we're going to start to add in the participants for go-to-market. Clicking this magnifying glass, in some cases you will have to click it twice. You want to start adding in the individuals who are participating in go-to-market with you. Once you do, you'll hit save. The individual is added here under participants, and you'll go back and hit the plus sign again as many times as you need to add each participant. As so. Now you will notice that even if we expand this field, all we get is the title of the individual. So let's say the BDC manager's name was John Smith and the district sales manager's name was Amy Johnson. We don't see those names here because all we're looking for the purposes of reporting is the types of individuals who are participating in go-to-market with you. So now that we have our participants added, we're going to go in, and there are about 6 questions over here, which is almost the entire assessment that you can fill out at the end of the month prior to the go-to-market you're going into. Those questions are communication type. You can go in and already tell the assessment how you plan on having that go-to-market. And let's say we're going to say it's going to be phone with presentation. Did you communicate with decision maker? What we're asking here, if you've looked at the glossary, is did you invite the decision maker? The wording here will change. So depending on when you're viewing this video, you may actually see this say, did you invite decision maker? We're going to say that we did. So we're going to click. Now, one thing to note, these check boxes, when there is no check mark, the report is going to render that as a no. If there is a check mark, the report will render that as a yes. We can also enter in communication date, which will be the same date that you plan on having that go-to-market call. So we're going to say that we plan on having this call next month on the 4th. Now we cannot answer were offers submitted all the way down through date that assets appeared live on the website. We're just not there yet. We're at the end of the month prior, so we won't know any of these answers yet. But we can skip down to go-to-market assets created by, and we'll say that they are created by CDK. One thing to note here for assets created by, you do have the additional option now of choosing Slide Studio. We can also choose what type of website it is. So we'll say that this is their primary website. They don't have any other. And we can say if they are subscribed or enrolled in integrated incentives, which we'll say that they are. We cannot answer is the dealer engaged, and we likely don't have any notes or big wins yet because we haven't had the conversation. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 questions that we've answered before go-to-market has even started, and the only ones we need to come back and update have specifically to do with the offers being submitted, the date they were submitted, if the assets are live, the dates they went live, is the dealer engaged, and any notes we want to add for color to the conversation. So from here, what we're going to do is we don't have to save using this icon on the bottom. We could if we wanted to, but technically, because we've got enough done here, we're going to go ahead and submit. It's going to take a moment, screen will reload, and we're going to see that the state has gone from active to inactive, and the status has gone from open to complete. So we can go ahead and close this out. And now we've got our go-to-market readiness assessment right here showing it's complete. Now we're going to open it back up because let's say that we are now in October and we're on the phone with our dealer and we just asked them, hey, so when do you plan on submitting your assets? When they tell us, we're going to open the assessment back up using the open icon up here. This flips our state back to active because we're actively working on this assessment, and our status from complete back to open. In doing so, you've also in the back end of the system created a marker that says that you've taken action, and it's going to add a new timestamp to show that you've gone in and made a change to the assessment. And we're going to want to go down to where it says were offers submitted and say yes, and then we can click here for the date, bring up the calendar, and indicate to the system, let's go to October, that they're saying that they are going to submit them on Saturday. First thing on Saturday, they're going to email them over to their agency, or excuse me, to CDK. So we're going to say on the 5th, and then we can submit the form. It didn't take that. So great actually way to illustrate the system catching things here. So for whatever reason, it did not catch when I added that date and said the assessment was not complete. The reason that it said it wasn't complete is because anytime that you indicate a yes in either were offers submitted or assets live, the system will not let you submit the assessment unless you also provide a date. So we're going to go back in, reselect that date and say the 5th. So click out of that field to make sure it's maintained, and then we're going to submit. It goes to the action of submitting the assessment, putting it back in an inactive state, changing the status from open to complete, and there's also been that new marker in the back end of the system to recognize that you made a change, giving you credit from taking the dealer from having a deficiency to being in compliance. And that's pretty much it. You can open and close the assessments as many times as you need to throughout the month to make updates and changes. And don't forget to add any notes and big wins that you may have. That's it for how to create, submit, and reopen a go-to-market readiness assessment. Please do visit Digital Alley to check out the rest of the videos we have. And as always, if you have any suggestions or ideas on content that you'd like to see videos created on, please do email me and I'll do my best to record those and upload them in a timely fashion. Thanks for stopping by.